Hello there, my name is Linda, also known as Tortagialla around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery. And in my last video, I did a flip through of my chunky passport-sized creative journal inserts, and I'm going to continue in this video with the next one that I didn't get to. As I'm going through my collection of old journals, decluttering, deciding if I will be archiving, recycling, or upcycling them, I'm just going to share in weekly videos, and it will also serve as my digital copy for my own memories and safekeeping. So similar to the last video, this is a passport-sized traveler's notebook that I made myself. It's just a piece of leather with some heavy paper inside for the lining to give it structure, punched some holes, and strung through some elastic. These are experimentations from many years ago, so you can see that the last time around the elastic was probably too thick, and this time around the elastic is probably too thin. But at some point I'll get it right. So in this creative journal, I decided to continue the project idea where I give myself constraints. So it makes it easy to have like a daily creative practice or habit. So this passport size is a very small page area, and it really only takes a few minutes. So in this journal, I actually used song lyrics that I typed out and printed onto mailing labels. I had like a whole bunch already ready. So every spread is creating something to match the song lyric. That was like the premise. So you can see on this first page, I just did stamping to create like just a background pattern and put the song lyrics and doodled it a little bit. Like it didn't really take that long. It was just like the first idea that popped into my head. So I went with it. Like that's just the process of this particular creative journal is just sit down when I have those few minutes to like do something, creative, and it doesn't have to be extremely complicated or have like insane meaning behind it. It was just like do something creative, and get that creative time in. So this is the next spread, super simple, where I just have a collaged like old journaling card that's black with the gold foiling, put the lyrics on, and again doodled with some black pen, and I have a little punched out leather heart there. That's it, like super super simple, but definitely visually this spread is like, I think it's impactful, from like a design point of view. So again, it was just playing around with like black and white. This spread here was basically a patterned paper that I cut apart and then like spread out and used it to make the background. And that's it, super simple. Again, it was like just letting myself play and trying not to judge like if it's a good or bad idea. This was like a galaxy watercolor painting kind of background, and just playing around with those effects and put that in as background. Here's like a very eclectic type of collage that is actually a bunch of washi tapes as well as some happy mail, like the tag that someone gave me, and just incorporating that into the spread itself. And super simple. Probably I got those new washi tapes, so I wanted to use them. So literally 5-10 minutes. This is another very simple collage with some, I think this is like a cutout from a magazine, and then there's a little hedgehog, which to me looked like he was falling. So that's why I positioned him in that way. So again, super simple collage. And here more like collage papers. So I must have really been digging in my scraps drawer, because I know most of us have like that whole basket of little bits of papers here and there that you don't know what to do with or you don't want to recycle. And so I'm using lots of these little tidbits of papers and just using them to create some kind of interesting collage. And it's just like an exercise. And I can't remember the name, but I've seen someone on Instagram that does this in like a Moleskine daily, where every day they just do like a paper collage, and again, it's the creative habit, the process, like doing the exercise, of doing the collage each day, that is the important part. So here's another collage page where it's just a mix of papers with like the same sort of sea tones of blue. Here, another one with like a green paper and this very cool, um, I want to say it's like wrapping paper or something like that, with some words that were cut out from, C'est la vie was cut out from like a scrapbooking paper. And that is the spread. And again, it's, I know it's not amazing design or anything, but, you know, just working that creative habit and playing with the papers that I have around me. And certainly I did notice as I kept going with this, like, because I've given myself this project constraint, after a while it does get tiring. And so that's why you see that I don't continue doing this type of creative journaling, because I probably like hit my limit of wanting to do this type of like creative habit, right? Where there's these constraints of like, okay, these are the music lyrics, you must incorporate them. So do some collage, do something, incorporate the, music lyrics kind of thing. And of course, I have them printed out on labels, so there's like that constraint. So it's just like a bunch of collaging of papers from my stash and like sticking the lyrics on as the final piece. So it definitely got, old in the end. So even though I finished one insert, I wanted to do another one because I already had like a bunch of lyrics printed out. But you can see that the creative habit fell by the wayside. Like I just wasn't inspired enough to keep doing it with this type of constraint. So this time around, I was trying to use my markers. And obviously there's still collage, but I was like trying to do some mark making and using papers in my stash, but it just became like simpler and simpler and less like interesting and less fun. And when it gets to the point where it's no longer that interesting, then I'm just going to stop, because there's no need for me to do something that is not enjoyable. I can just come up with a new project idea, or maybe go back to the open ended, like do whatever. So you can see that here in the end, I didn't like even finish the last couple ones, because it was like, I'm done with this. I don't need to continue something that quote unquote, like it just doesn't work anymore. And it's okay to change and pivot and do something different, like just move on. And I think that's okay. I think that's why I am like a very project based kind of person. I think that I like to do something and jump into it and really get into it, like deeply for a certain amount of time. But then at some point, it's like, okay, that's enough. I've had enough. I've had my fill kind of thing, and then move on to the next project. And I think it's okay to do that. There are so many options and ways to journal and be creative that it doesn't have to be just one way. So that's the flip through of this particular music based do it yourself TN, in passport size. I hope you enjoyed watching this little flip through with me and talking through the project based idea and also not doing it anymore. So if you have reached this part of the video, I just want to thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support me directly, I am a graphic designer and I design digital printables for download. I'm building my community on Ko-fi. It's a community where you can support me with a one-time tip or sign up as a member to get printable downloads such as art prints, digital papers, journaling cards, and exclusive videos. I post there every Friday, so go on over and check it out if you're interested. The link is in the description below. I also have a blog at tortagialla.com, and I've been posting totally free digital downloads there for years and years. So go check it out, download some free digital papers, and use them in your creative journaling, collage, planner decor, memory keeping, all that kind of good stuff. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you again. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely like, subscribe, and comment down below. It really helps me here on YouTube. Until next time, take care.